Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Top 5 Wednesday. The topic for this week is books that I will never read. So these are all books that I have either read the book before them and not enjoyed it enough to want to continue with the series, or they are just books that I literally have no interest in. I don't really like saying that I will never read books because I feel like every book does have a fan base of some sort, so therefore there will be a few people that like pretty much every single book in the world. But just on the face of them and from what I know about them at the moment, I'm not interested in reading any of the 5 books I'm going to talk about in this video. So I'm going to get right on into it, and the first book that I will never read is The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. This is the sequel to The Fifth Wave, which is a YA sci-fi dystopian book that I read at the beginning of this year, and it was okay. I gave it 3 stars, but I didn't really connect with any of the characters like I thought I might. I know a lot of people who did actually enjoy The Fifth Wave a lot more than I did were let down by this sequel anyway, so it doesn't really fill me with much excitement or incentive to want to pick it up. I know the last instalment in this trilogy, The Last Star I think it's called, is out now as well, but yeah, I'm just not interested in picking it up. I don't really remember all that much from The Fifth Wave. I'm not interested in seeing the film either, so yeah, that's why I will never read The Infinite Sea. The next book that I will never read may come as no surprise to anyone who knows me even a tiny bit, and that is New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. I read Twilight a few years ago now when it was kind of really popular, and I really did not like it. I had so many problems with it, and yeah, even though I did actually have a copy of New Moon because I bought Twilight and New Moon together in the same shopping trip, I have now given my copy of New Moon to a charity shop, and I'm just not interested in the Twilight saga at all. I really can't stand Stephanie Meyer's writing style. I can't stand her characters. The plot was very basic and boring in my opinion of the first Twilight installment, and so therefore I'm not interested in reading anything else that Meyer writes, unfortunately. So yeah. The next book that I will never read will also come as no surprise to a lot of you, and that is 50 Shades Darker by E.L. James. This is a similar story. I read 50 Shades of Grey a few years ago and again had a huge problem with it, and so I'm not interested in reading 50 Shades Darker or 50 Shades Freed either. My mum has actually read the entire trilogy, and even she wasn't, you know, terribly impressed by it. I know the 50 Shades trilogy is often described as kind of mummy porn, you know, it's something that middle-aged women seem to love rather than younger women, but my mum wasn't really that impressed with it, and I had, as I've said, massive problems with the first book. I don't really know how I finished it, let's be honest with you, but yeah, so I'm not interested in continuing with that trilogy. The next book that I will never read is partially because I don't really have that much interest in it, and also because of its infamous size, and that is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. This is a beautiful edition that I found, yeah, I mean, if I do see a beautiful edition of it, I maybe think about picking it up, but I know that I will never ever read this book because I don't really have that much of an interest in kind of that era of classic Russian literature, which I know sounds quite a terrible thing to say, but it's never really been a kind of subgenre that has enticed me at all. So yeah, and obviously I don't know if you guys know, War and Peace is infamously a huge monster of a book, and obviously that intimidates me and puts me off ever reading it too. I know the BBC did do a recent TV adaptation of this, and I did see a couple of episodes and didn't really find it all that interesting either, so I have really no incentive to start reading War and Peace at any point during my life. So yeah. And the last book that I will never read is a book that quite a lot of booktubers have probably read, and you know, they have mixed opinions of it, I think, and that is Go On Lime by Zoe Sugg, aka Zoella. She is a very popular British beauty YouTuber. And the reason I will never ever read this is because I can't get the lighting right, but you guys know what it looks like. It's because it's ghost written. It's not written by her. And when I found that out, I was really, really disappointed. I thought Zoella was a lot better than that. I mean, I've never really been a huge fan of hers, but I have seen like a few of her videos where she talks about her anxiety and her kind of, you know, all the stuff that she's been through in her life. And I was like quite impressed by her videos that talk about that. But then when I knew she was bringing out a book, because I know she is kind of like into books and writing and that. She's got a book club with W.H. Smith here as well now. So I always knew she was kind of semi into books, and I did actually think that she would be writing her own book. And then when I found out that it was ghostwritten, I kind of lost a little bit of respect for her, if I'm honest. So yeah, and from what I've heard of the story of this book, I think it's just a very general YA contemporary. So I have, you know, no excitement in any of those aspects of this book to pick it up at all. So that is why I will never read it. And that is it for this week's Top 5 Wednesday. What books will you never read? Let me know in the comments down below. I will leave all my social media down below as normal. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye!